All right. Despite doing his very best to crash our economy, the New York Times claims, listen to this, President Biden is flying high. He's just doing a bang-up job. They even have a new nickname for him, Aviator Joe, a.k.a. Sleepy Joe, with the sunglasses on so you can't tell that he's nodded off. But can all the spin in the world save us from this apocalyptic spending spree? Let's meet tonight's party panel. We've got New York Post columnist and the Spectator contributor, Carol Markowitz is back. I love it. Along with Fox News political analyst, you love to see him, right in front of the Capitol, Juan Williams, and 2020 Libertarian Party vice presidential candidate. He is the chair of YouAreThePower.net, Spike Cohen, also known as Max Headroom, also known as Bazooka Jew. Thank you very much.
Bazooka Jew, yeah.
That's right.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is, I was told to say that in my defense, human resources. Great to talk to all of you. So, Carol, spending is a bad way to tame an inflationary economy. Why haven't Democrats learned that?
Well, I don't think they care. Recently I spent a lot of money, and then I assured my husband that our savings account would be replenished when I spent even more money. He didn't believe me either, and I don't think any of them believe it. I think the Democrats know what they're doing. They're actually buying the votes, just like you said. This has nothing to do with inflation. This has nothing to do with reducing inflation. And, I think part of the problem, as I say about a host of issues, is that we don't have a media that holds them accountable. We have this New York Times story talking about Joe's sunglasses. Like, I'm glad they moved on from what flavor ice cream he eats, but it's still fluff pieces. And, it's really just not right that they don't hold them accountable whatsoever, and that the American people really deserve better than that from their media.
So, Juan, what have we learned from both parties spending so much money? When will we get the bill?
Well, I think we get the bill, but, it's not even us, Kennedy. I think future generations will get the bill.
I think you're right.
And the bill will come in some incredible ways. I mean, obviously, everyone's concerned about the future of Social Security and those kinds of sort of elemental social safety net programs and whether they exist in the future. The contrary point is this, that we just went through a pandemic, and if you'll note, our economy really did not fall into any deep recession. In fact, people were able to keep going, and that's largely as a result of spending. But as you pointed out rightly, I mean, I can't use your language about getting back to virginity, but it was pretty funny.
But you understand the point.
The idea is that I got your point. That's what I'm trying to say. I got your point, and I think that it was, in the terms of keeping us out of a deep recession, the spending was almost so overwrought that it led to inflation, which is an ongoing problem. But it's not to say we shouldn't have spent the money, in my opinion.
I love Juan because now he writes for National Review. That was a very succinct Liberty take on our overspending. But Spike, as you have also rightly pointed out, a lot of these expenditures are just corporate welfare. I thought progressives hated corporations.
Yeah, no, that's during election season that the progressives hate corporate welfare, in the same way that during election season Republicans hate deficits, and then when they're in office they run up $7 trillion in debt like they did in one Trump administration term. Let's be very clear about this. The Inflation Reduction Act is going to increase inflation in and of itself. Number one, there is a net increase in debt spending, even with all the new IRS agents, even with the additional audits, the vast majority of which are going to be done against the working class, and the vast majority of tax increases, which according to the Senate Joint Committee on Taxation is largely going to be paid by the lower and middle income tax brackets. Even with that, there's still a net increase in spending, which means there's going to have to be more money created by the Federal Reserve, which will be lended to the Treasury, which means there's going to be more money chasing the same number of goods and services. But thankfully, the major multi-billion-dollar multinational corporations got another multi-trillion-dollar corporate welfare bailout courtesy of the taxpayer, which we will be paying for years to come. Like Juan said, much of this will be paid by people who haven't even been born yet.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to be on the hook for it thanks to those 87,000 new IRS agents. And there are a lot more middle-income earners than high-income earners, and those people know how to shield themselves. So they're going to be going after people who make a lot less than $400,000 a year, and those people are already, their problems have been compounded by supply chain issues and inflation. And they won't forget, no matter how you try and sell the aviators, people are still very much feeling a pinched economy in their own lives.